Mr. Faisal, and morning, Miss Aru Chelvi.
Morning, Miss Kimberly. Um, yeah, it's almost 9 now,
Yeah,
a few minutes before 9, and I see the attendance so far is 110. So we have about another maybe about 100 more students to join in. Shall we wait just for 1 or 2 minutes?
yeah, can. Or maybe I can start with the introduction first about Penang Green Council and also our guest speaker. Then I think then we won't take up too much time from Mr. Faisal sharing later.
Okay, but maybe in 1 minute because I
Can?
want to
No
start.
problem.
I want to start recording the session as well.
Sure, no problem.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
So before we start, I just would like to welcome you all, Miss Kimberly and Chief Faiza Abdurrani, our speaker for today. And just as the information, we have students from Diploma in Civil Engineering, uh, Bachelor of Civil Engineering Technology, and also a few lecturers have joined us together in this session, about 4 to 5 lecturers.
Hi, nice to meet you all here today.
Yeah, we are very much happy and feel blessed actually for this knowledge sharing session by y'all. Okay, I think I will start the recording.
Okay. So, do you mind if I just share the slides?
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Right. Can you all see the screen? My screen right
Yes.
now?
Yeah,
You can see.
it's
Yeah. How
yes.
about the students?
Yes.
Okay, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
All right. Thank you. All right. Hi everyone. I'm Kimberly from Penang Green Council, and as you can see, this is our organization logo. And I'm sure most of you haven't heard of Penang Green Council because our organization is based in Penang, and we are a government-linked company established by Penang State Government in 2011. So the aim of our organization is to create a cleaner, greener, and safer place to stay. So under Penang Green Council, as you can see, this is our team, and yep, and that's our vision, where we want to try to help or empower more stakeholders to actually practice sustainable development that protects the environment and our quality of life. So under our company or our organizations, we have 5 divisions altogether, but today I will be going through each of every single division. Under this 5 division, you can see there's towards the right hand side the environmental education and outreach. This is where I'm uh, working under, and this is also where we organize environmental programs for kids, youth, adults, and community. So for this, EcoTalk is actually one of our programs under this division. Yeah, as you can see, this is our web banner, and today we are very happy that we actually invited one of our educational partner, Impact Lusion, Mr. Faizal from Impact Lusion, to actually share on the topic of sustainable waste management. So apart from Impact Lusion, we also have another 5 educational partner. You can see their logo is down there. So they cover topics ranging from waste issue to biodiversity and also water issue. So it depends on whichever topic that you're interested. You can engage us further in future to talk or to share more on this topic. So come back to our guest speaker today, Mr. Faisal. So Mr. Faisal is actually the co-founder and also program director of Impact Lusion. Impact it's a social enterprise leading the way in environmental conservation and community development. So for 5 years, Mr. Faisal has executed many programs and training such as waste audit, cleans up, and eco break, composting, and etc. to company, community, and schools. So he has been working with quite a number of organizations in this field. So, apart from his professional background, he is also a zero waste practitioner for 4 years and a low carbon lifestyle practitioner for 2 years. He strongly believes that sustainable learning is done through practice. So, we really hope that all of you can actually gain some valuable insight from him on this topic today. So, with this, I think I will hand it over to Mr. Faiza to share with you guys more. Thank you so much. So, yeah.
Thank you, Miss Kimberly.
Thank you.
Well, thank
Welcome,
you.
Encik Faisal.
All right. So let me just share my screen first.
Yeah, sure.
All right.
Yeah, we can see
Can
the
you?
slide.
Okay, we can see the slide, right? All right.
Yeah.
Okay, so thank you very much, Kimberly, for the introduction. I am Faiz Abdurrani as the program director for Impactlution. So let me just start on what is Impactlution, right? So let's see. All right. So Impactlution basically is that we kind of provides a cost-effective, transformative, and sustainable CSR event solution that are deep rooted in the value of sustainable development goals. So sorry. Yeah, so basically it's like we organize projects, workshops, and training that is designed towards sustainable community development, waste management, education, and awareness in the field of environment and sustainable practices. Right?
Tak.
Hold on a second. Right.
Baik.
Okay,
Polimer
so
daripada
a little bit about myself. I
kertas
am
tu
a
sebab
chemical
kertas ni
engineer
kalau
back
masuk
by professions, and then I'm
doha.
also a certified green project manager. So currently the head of the waste management division for the Sustainable Business Network Association of Malaysia, one of the waste audit advisor for the Earth Warrior project, the advisor for the Generasi Peduli
Kalau
Sampah, the
kertas
lead
ni
event and program
air
for
kena
the
dia
International
lebu.
Solid Waste Association Young Professional Group
Kalau polimer ni
for
kena
the
air
Malaysian
sikit
chapter
tak
and the
apa.
co-founder of Impactlution Social Enterprise. Right. So in terms of the whole project
Di mana?
that I've done, so I've received the Sismate Award in
Ada
2018.
kertas yang elok.
I was one of the recipients
Ada
for the
kertas
Star
elok.
Golden Heart Award and the Roll Pop 5 2009 Award Peserta Tempat for the Sungai Kelang finalists and the Malaysian National Sustainable Project of the Year Recognition Award 2019 and the Malaysian National Fundamental Recognition Award 2019. And 2020, I pretty much concentrate on become the judges panelists
Saya
for
tengok
the
speaker ni
Malaysian National
ngantuk lah.
Sustainable Award. Okay. So before we go into the waste management itself, so I think it is very crucial that we know what is the current situation in Malaysia. So in 2005, Malaysia produced about 19,000 ton of waste on a daily basis, right? And then by 2018, we are producing about 38,142 tons of trash on a daily basis, which increased about 200%, right? And the numbers are remaining in that area at the current moment in 2021. So can you imagine, it's like less than 13 years, less than 20 years, it's like we are producing more than 200%. right, of
boleh
waste
ada yang
generated.
sebelum-sebelum tu
And out of this
memang 10 lebih pun.
38,142 tons on a
Sebelum
daily
buka masa
basis,
ya.
46.97%
Lepas tu masa
of
tu
it
tak ambil
is
gambar.
food waste.
Yang hari
20.28% of it are plastic waste.
hari Sabtu tu ambil
17.89%
gambar.
are paper.
Hari Sabtu
4.31%
ambil
are
gambar.
metal. 2.6% of are glass, and 8.02%
Tak.
are others.
Malah
So at least,
tengok.
even though we have
Bini aku
this much of waste,
sebelum buka
and we
puasa,
know its
5.
categorization,
Lepas
our
buka
recycling
puasa,
rate is still low, right? So
Uh,
that's where
dekat 9 kot.
the problem
8 point
of the
something macam
waste
tu lah.
management in Malaysia itself. So
Terdia
when
pula
we
gelak kat aku.
talk about waste management, what is the biggest problem in waste management? Is it in how we manage it? Is it in
Ada
our
sekali tu malam tu.
policy, regulation, or is it in the attitude itself, right? So throughout the work
Lepas
that
makan.
we've done so
Sebelum
far,
isyak.
the biggest problem in waste management is not in the management itself, it is in the
Sekali.
language we use.
Ambil lah apa
Right?
getah yang
Why
macam
waste
kecil
is
kan.
the problem?
Cucuk balik.
Why is
Pak-pak
using
tengok,
the language of
sama.
waste is problem? Right? Because when we put something as a waste, what happened is we call it it is valueless. Right? So there's no value to it. So waste is valueless. So it's something that we throw away. But what if we start referring it rather than waste management, it is resource management, right? So this is where we need to start changing the language of waste management to resource management, because that's what it is. It is resource management. If we know in terms of the profile of all those wastes, like how many percentage of organic waste, plastic waste, that means those are all valuable resources to be reprocessed in terms of like creating new items, right? So by doing this, we are
Tapi aku perasan lah.
we are trying to change and then engage, and this is why currently a lot of the time why it is a problem in convincing manufacturers, companies, businesses, and individuals to take the change in terms of sustainable waste management, because the language of waste. So in resource management side, currently we subscribe to the whole structure of linear economy, right? So what is linear economy? So for a long time, like in this linear economy, it is more take, make, sell, use, and throw away waste, right? So, but the problem with this model of linear economy in the norm operation, right? In the standard operation, resources are finite. Right, so whatever we do, resources on this planet are finite. There are limits to numbers of the things that we can drill, we can mine, we can kind of take from the forest, right? So it's finite, so it's not infinite. That means there are limit to it, right? Then loss of values, resource and products. Because it's at the end of the life cycle, it goes into landfill, it goes into waste, right? And then scarcity. So of resources and scarcity of resources and unstable supply of raw material, it change how pricing, right? So imagine every year, why is it the price of rare metal are going up, so price of items are going up? Because the scarcity, the more we kind of use and throw, the more that things that is very crucial, the rare metal earth that we use for our gadgets, the foods that we use, the oil, it increased on a yearly basis, right? And then volatile price of resources itself, and then waste generation and environmental generation and climate change.
There's a report of an accident near TUDM that's causing moving traffic from Jalan Sungai Besi.
So yeah.
Freezers.
So and then why waste profiling is important, right? So looking in sustainable waste management, we need to do waste profiling. So like in the first slide of like knowing how many percentage of organic waste, plastic waste, those are what we call waste profiling. So when we try to talk about waste management, the first thing we need to talk, the first thing is we always talk about who to collect and where to send it. At the end life cycle of waste itself, in most industry, is going to landfills or incinerators. But why is that, right? It's because it's like we're so used to this whole idea of waste rather than valuable resources. But what we want to change in sustainable waste management is like to subscribe to the idea of circular economy, right? Where this is where we refuse, that means acquisition of raw material itself, recycling of end life treatments like like design, reduce, reuse, and then like the final destinations like those are the things that I'm able to do. But what we want to create is this whole idea of keeping in the loop itself, right? So maintaining the value of products and materials are one
Sejak
of the
puasa
potentials
tak ada
that
tu
when we
Iwan.
move towards this new circular economy, right? And then it can alleviate like in terms of security of supply risks. So the more resources that we are managing, the less dependent for us on new resources. And it is also estimated that
Tapi sedap.
circular economy can boost up economy by 7% GDP, right, according to the European Union, and that it can increase our competitiveness, creating new business opportunities and introducing innovation, product and services of creating of new jobs. So reducing waste generation, greenhouse gas emission, and other environmental impact itself, right? So, example, when we look at it, once we done the waste profiling, we can start with, for example, the biggest waste pretty much is food waste. So food waste, if we manage the food resources, organic resources, if we are managing it properly, one of the potential is we can
Cik
use
Jo.
compost through either
Gula tu.
bokashi
Pula
like
kolesterol lagi.
effective matter, and then I'm sharing with you this is a black soldier fly. So from the food waste where we use the BSF to
Cari.
process it, and it will produce two products, compost and then
Ambil. Tapi
the
10 juga.
BSF pupae. The BSF pupae can be dry and then mechanically extract, so to make precipitate, and then it become nutrient analysis like for animal feed, or it chemical extraction like to become oil in biodiesel or become meal for animal feed. So can you see, if you look at the resources, if we are able to manage it properly in terms of the categorizing it from organic waste, we can process it to make new product itself. Second example is waste to energy, right? So one of the thing is like with slurry energy from crops, food waste, if we put in an anaerobic digester, so the digester can actually into the digester's storage site and become fertilizer, or and then the gas can become biogas where it can goes into power generation to create electricity or heat, right? So waste can become compost as well as energy. So there's two product that we can fully utilize from that, right? So then what we look at is the rest. So if we are able to categorize and profiling all the waste, right? So let's say on in the campus itself. So from the campus, if you are able to actually, okay, where does the waste source coming from, all of it? Can we separate at source? And then where do we kind of send it on the campus? So can we manage it, and how do we manage it, right? So if food waste, we know we can do compost, waste to energy. So when we able to separate and segregate all the plastic waste, paper, metal, glass, and others, so we can actually do waste reduction, right? So this is where in the campus, once we know what is the waste profiling of the generation on campus, we can do the waste reduction program, we can do the innovation, the upcycling, recycling program itself. So an example of how when we talk about plastic pollution, right? So how sustainable practices can be applied in managing. So once we've understand, for so examples like single-use plastic, right? So when we're able to manage it properly, we know what is the source. Then this is where innovation comes in, right? So like with a zero waste lifestyle, for example, uh, businesses either can lose clientele or adopt to the demand provide with refillables rather than use of single-use plastics, right? So this is where like, we can innovate, right? The use of biodegradable plastic itself, that's where innovation, thinking to solve the issues, or turning back plastic to the product used for the base material, right? Okay. Hold on a second. It's kind of lagging a bit. All right. So we can see here, it's like once we've identified the waste itself, we're able to uh, manage it properly, right? So once we've done that, so this is where another example, right? So we know that everything come in packaging. So this when we kind of like trying to solve the issue of waste, the innovation are coming. Examples like Loop is one of this company where they kind of uh, change from the normal packaging to this whole subscribe model of with reusable containers, right? Then we have uh, this whole new packaging of this uh, degradable or biodegradable or of kind of soaps and stuff, and then the whole zero waste store itself. So this is a kind of a case study. It's like where you can get it from the Ellen MacArthur Foundations, right? So how Coca-Cola kind of like redesigned their whole bottling, like to use waste material from sugar canes to create new material itself, right? But when it comes to the whole idea of this solution, it doesn't need to be high end. So that's where it's like I like to share on the Malaysia Eco-Breakers community itself. So Malaysia Eco-Breakers community is like turning waste to wealth, because we know at the end of the day, it's like, for example, single-use plastic is not recyclable, right? So when single-use plastic are not recycled, most of it are ending up in landfill. So in the program that we've done in the Malaysia Eco Breakers community, what we did is with engineering, design, and creativity, right? So we look at how eco bricks or just this single-use plastic packed into this bottle are able to become assets in terms of creating um, pretty much just like let's say green development, urban beautification project, or even community-based project itself, right? So it makes sense, like for example, like modular structures, furnitures, garden spaces, wall, and even full-scale building itself. Once we've applied the creativity itself in that area, and then an example how those eco bricks can be applied, right? Waste if we are managing it properly. So things that there's no value itself, like single-use plastic, when we pack into those bottles, there's a value to it that we are able to use it in terms of making projects, right? So just want to share like how the impact itself, like for a simple program that we've done, is like in Malaysia EcoBreakers community, where we started with one EcoBreaks in 2017, and by 2019, so what we have is already collected about 10,800 EcoBreaks across Malaysia, which is about equivalent to about 4,700 and 3.36 kilogram of single-use plastic waste. Because we're able to apply it, so this is an equivalent to about 24,440.811 kilogram of CO2 that it's capped and put to use, right? So we can see how the whole cycle of we're able to create and impact just by managing single-use plastic. So what else we can make? This is another thing. It's like we can make furniture, sofas, park benches. So it's like there's so many things that we can use in terms of this simple idea, right? So this is what we've done with the Orang Asli communities, where we're helping them using EcoBricks to build like the center for the education center, building the walls for the community, and then just using this activity, we're able to change in terms of the value within the outside of the rural areas, like in terms of managing single-use plastic itself, right?
Hello, Encik Faizal, are you there? Hello, can you hear me, Encik Faizal?
I think
Hello?
he's disconnected maybe.
Yeah, because it's like no
Yeah, I
no
think he's
reply from him.
disconnected. Maybe meanwhile, we can allow the students to ask any questions if they have up to what Mr. Faizal has shared.
Oh yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
students, you have any questions so far that you want to ask? Maybe I can jot
Uh,
down.
yeah, Miss Archavi, I was just wondering the chat function, is it available for
Yeah,
the people to use?
yes, it is
Okay.
available.
Okay, because I'm not sure why from my end I can't really access to the chat
Oh, is
feature.
it?
Yes.
Okay,
If
let me just type it. Can you see the chat, Miss Kimberly?
I
Kalau orang luar dia memang tak boleh chat lah rasanya.
Oh,
I
no
see.
wonder.
I see.
Okay. Okay, thank you. So
Okay.
never mind. I'll ask the students to type their questions here, and later on I can read it to Encik Faiza at the end of the session.
Yeah, can. No problem. Meanwhile, let me just check with Mr. Faizal and see if he's connecting back. Yeah, while waiting for Mr. Faisal to connect back, I've just have questions like because in Ipoh and also Penang, our waste management is a bit different uh, in both states. I was just wondering in Ipoh, how do you guys usually manage your waste? Like, or how does the local council actually manage it? Can you all hear me? Oh, I think. can't hear. Nope,
Sorry, I was muted.
it's okay.
Sorry. So actually, in Ipoh, we rely mostly on the Majlis Bandaraya Ipoh. So means that if it's solid waste, sisa pekerja from the housing, we just pack it on weekly, I think 3 times where the lorry comes to pick it up. But it goes to the landfill actually, and it's dumped there, and segregation, everything happens there in the landfill. We don't have any private concession like what y'all are there in Penang Green Council doing the education and all. Previously, we did have the Perbadanan Pengurusan Sisa Pepejal SW
Mhm.
Corporation, Solid
Mhm.
Waste Corporation. We had it in Ipoh. So they were doing all these educational programs, awareness in schools, in institutions. We did also invite them to give talk few years back
I
for
see.
universities. But now I think they have merged, meaning that they don't have it in every state SW Corporation. They have
Mhm.
like for zone purpose. So apart from that, I
So
don't think so. There is something like your role there in Penang State, basically the Penang Green Council, because like how I contacted Miss Kimberly through.
I think Miss Arishavi, you are muted again.
How come? Can somebody mute me? I just unmuted and
I
then it went to mute again. Funny,
yeah.
right?
All right.
So yes,
Yeah,
Mr. Faisal,
I'm yeah.
Mr.
Mr. Faisal
Faisal
is
is
back.
back. Okay, so now we continue with Mr. Faizal's session.
Okay, so I think it's like my laptop have a problem, so I'm using my device. So I think where did I stop just now? Was it at the video?
Yeah, the video, I guess.
Okay. So that was pretty much at the end there. So the once I kind of have the my laptop like restart again, so it's like then it's like I'll show those videos. For now, I think we can go to any of uh, the last portion of it. So like I said, it's like when we understand of the what is we are able to do the whole waste profiling. We're able to kind of like managing like in terms of the type of waste and everything. We're able to turn a lot of this thing into assets and stuff, right? So it's a from a simple program we're able to create this amazing things. It's like once we understand, so we can either like once we know how what type of waste that we produce, we're able to turn it into organic waste. We're able to compost it or waste to energy. Once we profile the type of plastic waste, metals, straws, and stuff, we're able to actually create those kind of programs in on the campus itself. That's why it's like waste profiling is very important, right? So we are able to understand the source, where it's coming from, how do we manage it properly, and how do we turn a lot of these assets into all these ways into asset itself, right? So yeah,
Okay.
so that's it.
Maybe while waiting for Mr. Faisal to share the video, we can do the Q&A session for
Q&A
the
session.
from the students.
Okay, dear students, please feel free to ask any question. So you can just on your mic and start with your question, or even the lecturers, if there's any queries or any information that we need to gather from Chief Faisal or Miss Kimberly regarding the programs they have undertaken. Come on, students.
sure if there is any question in the chat because both Mr. Faizal and I can't really see the chat.
Okay. They are so passive. I don't know what happened to them. Ada talk. Okay, there is a question. Okay, there's a question from Chai Jalil. Adakah strength of eco brick sama dengan strength of brick biasa?
Okay, so the strength of eco brick with a standard brick, it is not going to be the same because it is more round, where the normal brick is more square, right? But what we've tested out is that for every one eco bricks make completely right. For example, for the 1.5 liter bottle, it is equivalent to at least minimum of 500 grams, right? So the weight will be the same. The density will be harder. But when we apply into projects, in terms of, like, say, for example, buildings and stuff, what we did is just applying the basic principle of uh, pretty much just like the principle of design itself. Let's say, what is the weight capacity? It's all in the design. So the more weight that we want to do, then it's all about the width plus the height itself. It's like, so we can find how to design it properly.
Okay, thank you for the brief explanation, Chief Faizal. Yeah, students, because this semester 4 students, they are currently taking up project 1, final year project 1. So they are trying to do some innovation in project wise. So that is why maybe the question rise, maybe the students are doing some literature review regarding the eco break and so on. Come on students, you can ask any questions, whether it's regarding your final year project or whatever, the knowledge that you need on waste management, how you want to start up waste management and so on. Okay, just now while waiting for the students to open up, maybe I want to ask something about the circular economy that Chief Faizal mentioned, because recycling definitely boosts our economy because the resources, when we can cut down on using our resources, we can definitely sustain it for the future and we can actually boost up the economy. But maybe Chief Faisal can elaborate more on that.
Yeah, the recycling itself is part of our economy, but the idea of circular economy itself, it is about keeping the material in loop, right? Keeping it in the cycle itself. So let's say we started from organic waste, those can go into compost. Compost produced uh, the uh, 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 the fertilizer. Fertilizer goes back into the crops, right, into our agriculture. And then the agriculture waste goes back into the compost, and then it is keeping it in the cycle itself. Same goes with plastic. So if we are designing something, so the idea of circular economy is not designing something that can be at the end of the life cycle it will end up in landfill, but we design it to keep it in the loop. So that means from an object that is used at the end of the life cycle, it can be reprocessed to become raw material again, and it goes back into the feed for new products itself. So this is where the new economy that the whole world are moving towards to. The whole circular economy, that's where we are moving towards to. And the basic core of sustainable waste management are circular economy. So designing back, redesign redesigning all the operations, the product, and this is where what I'm calling to all the engineers right now. It's like all the future scientists, engineers. This is where the opportunity is for you guys in terms of doing design innovations. It's like in terms of design to create all these products. Right? So everyone can actually start doing this. It's like and then look at what can you come up with. So it doesn't mean like the product on the market that's the product that it's going to be there forever. So this is an opportunity for everyone to come with this innovate in terms of creating new products, something more sustainable and be in demand for the future.
Okay, thank you. So, another thing, there's one question about food waste, resources, and management. So, this is, I think, a big topic. Maybe Chief Faisal can elaborate a little bit on that.
The food waste resource management, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So food waste, basically, it's like I think we know that organic waste is a part of the category of food waste, right? In terms of managing it, the first thing we need to do is separate it from the non-organic waste. So that is the first part, right? So let's say either at the canteen or the on campus itself, how do we create one collection bin for all the organic waste? How can we engage the cafes, retailers to separate the waste itself? Once those are separated, then it can be depending on the type of waste that is being collected, right? Then this is where we look at in the how what kind of technology that suits best managing those waste, right? So either through if it's in the low volume, we can do either a normal compost heaps. We can either use bokashi, effective microbes, or if we want to go high tech and stuff like creating all of this biogas and everything. So this is where we can look into fermentations, like a few other processes where we can create even a on-site pretty much anaerobic digester where it will separate the liquid and the gas, the compost, the carbon mass, and then the liquid itself, right? And then that pretty much what we can do is like with all the gas produced, it can be directly lined to use for cooking, for example. So managing is the waste is like once we've able to separate it properly, this is where we're able to actually produce and process it according to what our target is, looking at the type of technology out there.
Okay. Thank you. So, yeah. Any other question from the student or the lecturers? Maybe Dr. Azwin, Dr. Mazlina, Panu Hasmi. Any questions on Aziza? Students are kind of quiet. Not much questions yet. Yeah, there is another question coming up. Uh, okay, can Encik Faisal explain more on how can the waste from glass be used as resources?
Okay, so glass, one, okay, so basically in terms of how we make glass, right? Glass is actually from sand, silica. So right now, in Malaysia, it's like the only last remaining glass recycling is basically it's like in Johor, which makes glass recycling is not economical in Malaysia. So, but if we crush it back, right, the glass into the most basic to the sand material, that that sand material itself are valuable resources that we can either go back into the furnace make new glass itself, or we can use that sand in the construction, right? So to mix it with and to make construction. So that's one of the possibility. Another part of if we know in the creative side, if we have the aspect of creative and design, those glass bottle, when you look at some of those glass bottle, it has this very aesthetic value, the aesthetic design, right? So with a little bit of creativity and engineering, it's like we can actually recreate those items to be made into, for example, like lamps, right? So that's something. Uh, the something kind of like brush with cement, resins, we can make countertops. So it really depends on how we use it. But glass itself, as at the core of the item itself, it is silica. So, and that is where, if we look at any sand mining operation, that's what we actually mine. So like the sand that we kind of go through from the sand mining process is the material that we are taking from the environment to actually use in construction, to use in producing more glass. A little bit of facts of glass in Malaysia side, it is estimated that we are producing about 600 tons of new glass product on a daily basis, right? Um, but only 10% are recycled. So can you imagine? It's like 90% from that 600 tons of glass produced on a daily basis, pretty much ending up back in landfills. So it is a loss of resources. But but if we're able to kind of like crush it, it's like and then create those sands, and then that sands can be sold directly as crushed let's say crushed glass sand for the constructions, or goes back to the glass manufacturer to make new glass itself. All right.
Miss Arushavi, I think you are muted again.
Okay. Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Okay, there's another question. We know the side effects or the bad effects of polystyrene, usage of polystyrene. So,
Okay.
but we everywhere we can see so much of polystyrene usage. We can't control over it. So, actually, what is the best method to get rid of these polystyrene?
So the best method is always stop using it. Yeah, refusing. So in the idea of zero waste sustainability, it's like refusing things that cannot be recycled, right? So in the idea of sustainable waste management, circular economy, if those things cannot be recycled, the first thing is refuse, change the material itself. So rather than using polystyrene, create more of this, bring your own containers to takeaways, or use of biodegradables like food packaging, right? So that's where we're able to do. And remember, polystyrene came from styrene gas. In the oil and gas, when we are kind of like distill for oil, right? So the whole distillation process. So the byproduct of the process, we have this called the byproduct that no one wants, is the styrene gas. This styrene gas is what makes the polystyrene. So the problem with if we look at the most basic, right, whatever from gas, in certain heat, everything, it will goes back into gas, right? So from those polystyrene, it makes into solid, from gas to solid, and then used for material. So whenever you use those material to do like food packaging, right? So this is where some of the original form of those gas will be released and absorbed into the food itself. And styrene gas has studies have shown that it does have potential of carcinogens, like for cancers, as well as health effects. So so this is where understanding the material, the effects, and that's where we try to move away. That's why nowadays we see more and more, not really polystyrene, so that we see more and more like number 5 plastic uh, uh, food containers. But the problem with those plastic food containers, it is non-recyclable, right? So we cannot recycle it. So it becomes single-use plastic, it use and throw, and it's not something that we kind of like discard anymore. So let's move towards rather than just trying to find just alternative, we create this whole mindset change of reusing, right? Using the food box, the takeaway containers, make it a habit that we are able to need. So, but in this post COVID-19, food delivery is one of the things we really heavily rely on, right? So this
Yeah.
is where innovation comes in. So if they we see an opportunity is like instead rather than uh, making biodegradables, it's like what is needed is this whole supply chain of reusable containers where it can be once, let's say, partner up with companies that all these food vendors, restaurants, right, to use these reusable containers, right? So basically, it's like those food containers can be actually packed in these reusable containers. At the end, whenever it's like those containers are able to finish use, they can either deposit it somewhere it's like or to the nearest restaurant that is a partner or to the food delivery system back there for them to send back to. So this is where the opportunity of innovation comes in. So the market demands something this, and this is where if the students have this entrepreneur mindset, creating within the system of network of this food delivery of adapting reusable containers in outlets, you're able to create a new method of supply chain in terms of sustainability and reusable materials for the.
Okay, very well explained, Cik Faizal. I agree. Yeah. Okay. So there's another question. Boleh ke sisa plastik untuk membuat jalan raya?
Okay, so sisa plastik untuk membuat jalan raya. Yes, boleh. Because a lot of this plastic are pretty much made from oil, right? Daripada minyak. So at the same time, it's like all the tar for jalan, it's still made from minyak. So it's like it's still from oil. So if we can reprocess all this plastic waste to the material that we can use, make it back into the most basic component of oil and reprocess it to use, then yes, we are able. What we don't recommend is just shredding the plastic, put it in the tar, and then leave it there. Because by not transforming the material, you create this secondary problem of microplastic. So that's a whole different ball game lah. So this microplastic is basically any plastic particle that is less than 5 milliliter. And this is where in the oceans, in our food supply, we see more of this microplastic itself. So it is not just about using the plastic; it is the whole process itself of actually turning this weight, the plastic waste to back to the its core material and reusing back for the industry. So for the students, like this is optional for you guys to look into how to do this, right? So how do you actually turn plastic back to the material that can be used back for the. So this is where it's the possibility chances for you guys to look for innovation to redesign back in terms of opportunity to redesign the current system and then become the pioneer, the leaders leading the market.
Okay, thank you. And then one more question. This is again about eco bricks. What kind of item can be produced from eco bricks and how long can it last?
So the EcoBricks, we've tested out the EcoBricks in our site. In the outside, using a PET bottle EcoBricks, it will last for 100 of years, right? So because PET bottle are meant to design for, that's why we see when we do cleanups operation, when we do a lot of this activity, we see PET bottles that from 20, 30 years ago are still in good condition, in good contact. So it doesn't break down easily. But if it's from HDPE, the HDPE bottle is more brittle. So after, what we've got in the last 2 years is like of EcoBricks made from HDPE bottle. We put it exposed to the environment. Now it started to crumble after 2 years, right? So it really depends on the material itself. PET bottles has it is designed and then to degrade in about I think it's like 450 years. So it will take that long. So if you make the EcoBrick solid, it will last. So all the eco bricks that we've collected and we use to make our own furniture and stuff has been, I would say, has been lasting for almost 4 years now. So and it's still in good condition.
Okay, so the next question, what are the benefits of maximizing waste diversion?
The okay, so the most impact in when we maximize the waste diversion, right? So what people don't understand is how much money goes into waste management, right? So every time we put something, our waste into the landfill, it costs uh, billions of ringgit, right, to manage these landfills. And these billions of ringgit pretty much just to tanam sampah. It is a waste of resources, basic, like not just the material itself, it also in the money in managing a state, a city, where if let's say if in managing on a monthly basis, let's say it's like it costs like maybe 5 million ringgit, right? But that 5 million ringgit, if we are able to reduce even 10% going to the land, that 10% can be actually used back for redevelopment, community-based program. So, so this is where we need to look into how we can restructure the whole idea of waste management to be able to divert it as much as possible away from the landfill to reduce cost operation in terms of managing those waste, but also creating new product that we can benefit from those waste.
Okay, so the next question, in Malaysia, ada tak produk yang menggunakan recycle material untuk building construction? For example, plastic, concrete block or green concrete.
Okay, so in Malaysia ada. Okay, it's still new tapi ada. So one example there's this local Malaysia startup. They make they make eco bricks juga. Tapi what they use is from plastic waste mixed with the sand and material into this IBS system, right? So memang ada. But it is not widely used. That is the challenge. It's still new because people still tend to go for the standard bricks that is ni. And we have to understand. So every time we use normal items, that we're not maximizing the resources. We're taking out existing resources. So the easiest example, right? Let's see in Perak, berapa banyak the mountains is vanishing, right? So it's like a lot of the banjaran, it's pretty much starting to gone because of mining. So because we need to extract these minerals, these resources for the construction, for cement and stuff, right? So it's like the nature itself for at least for you guys in Perak, you see it in front of your eyes. It's like some of these beautiful like limestone are starting to disappear. A lot of these mountains are starting to disappear. It is because we require this process. So, but if we are able to look at back the resources available, redesign, and then capture separate process, we can create something new that will be less dependent on this natural material that is, and then we can let it leave it alone and then preserve it.
Okay, thank you. So the next question is, could you share some tips and solution on how to control waste of chemical disposal and house disposal that cause water pollution using today's technology?
Okay, so all chemicals disposable, it is under schedule waste. Schedule waste management. So those you need to actually contact schedule waste contractors to actually manage it, right? So most of this chemical waste is like the problem is we don't know is it mixed or not. So most of the schedule are incinerated. So that's the safest way. But this is where the opportunity is, let's say, in the labs and everything, right? So even just rather than just putting like all this chemical waste into one bucket, if we know that it's like it has some values, how do we process it? This is the research and development, a new method of managing all this chemical waste without ending back in the incinerators, or we are able to repurpose, redesign back again to make new products itself. So the opportunity is there to redesign the whole new structure system.
Okay, the one more last for now. Adakah sesuai pemerangkap sampah dibuat bagi digunakan untuk memerangkap sampah di longkang perumahan?
Uh, for the perangkap sampah, for the kawasan perumahan for longkang, yes, patut ada. So a simple one, we can just use netting to perangkap all the sampah. But because most of our longkang is connected to
Okay.
the river, right? So dia akan bersambung pada sungai, and sungai will lead back to the ocean. So if we can capture before entering the sungai, then it becomes like we're able to pretty much prevent it from more pollution or littering lah to our environment.
Okay. Any more questions, students? Please feel free to ask. So I think like that's all for now. You can keep asking questions. Maybe Encik Faizal, are you ready with the video? I thought you were supposed to
Yes.
play. Maybe we can, if you're ready, we can look at the video and then continue.
So let me let me just add
Uh,
uh, from now. Uh, from another one, so I can show the.
Okay.
Meanwhile, Mr. Faizal, would you like me to share the plastic pollution survey to Miss Aru Chowvi so that the student can fill up?
Yes, yes,
Okay, it's
Okay.
the same link you sent, right?
yes.
Okay, students, while waiting for Mr. Faizal, I'm going to send you all a link through your PA to fill up. Okay, this is from Chief Faizal himself.
Yeah, sorry, so it's a bit lagging. So I can see it's a bit lagging, but
Yeah.
yeah, but those videos are pretty much available on our YouTube, so you guys can actually watch it lah, to see how this all these items can be used.
Yep. I've sent Miss Arishavi some of the website link where you can share with your student. So it
Yeah.
consists of Impact Illusion website link as well as Penang Green Council and also Clean Sea campaign. Yeah, perhaps the students can learn more from this website.
Yeah, sure. I will also send the link to the students in the chat here so that they can uh,
Yep.
click here to answer, because I send it to the lecturers, the academic advisor. So students, you can click on the link. I've shared it in the chat box to fill up the questionnaire by Chief Aizal. Maybe we can give them 1 or 2 minutes to do it while waiting for other questions.
Yep. Sure. So, Mr. Faisal, would you like to explain how does the survey works?
So, okay, so the survey works because what we want to assess whenever we give out these free talks, pretty much what all these talks, what we try to do is just to assess with all the students where they are in the journey, better understanding the challenges or why do they either use or not use in terms of the single-use plastic, the challenges. Then in the next later on, I would say in the next 3 months or 4 months, we'll send one more just to see have they started to change, or is there any kind of like changes from the thought. So we like just to just basically better understand, like if people have started, why they have started. If not, it's like why they haven't started. So it's not about trying to find to blames or anything like that. This is more about just understanding the where we are as Malaysian in terms of creating a much more sustainable changes. What are the challenges that we want to understand? The challenges that people are finding, so that where this can become a framework that able to be adopted or at least used in other places to look into where the things to improve, either in the business development or in the local council level or in the state level itself.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Faizal.
Okay, so while waiting for the students to fill up, yeah, students, you can keep asking questions.
Yes.
Perhaps,
There's
Mr. Faizal, do you have any like future programs that you would like to share with the students? Maybe the students can participate in future.
All right.
yeah,
So basically, it's like the current programs that we have is the Clean Seas Malaysia, right?
okay.
So if you go to Clean Seas Malaysia Facebook page as well as pretty much the Instagram, you can share your story regarding of what do you see about plastic waste, our the pollution to the oceans and stuff. So you can share your story. You can submit your own personal stories to share and to inspire. That's one. Number two is the Malaysia Eco Breakers community, where for you guys, it's like in Polytechnic Unkoma is in Ipoh, right? So one of our success story in Perak was from SJKT Mengelembu itself. So SJKT Mengelembu, using the eco-bricks, a part of their innovators, the primary school kids was able to actually won awards, right? So eco-bricks is a continued program that we started and continue on to run for 2021. Then in September, it's one of our biggest program campaign and program. It is the World Cleanup Day. So this year it's on 18th of September, where we try to gather more volunteers, volunteer leaders especially, like to be trained as World Cleanup Day leaders, where we are able, you guys are able to organize either a cleanup in a small group or try to push for more of the 10-minute cleanup challenge. That means it's like influencing other communities like to do even 10 minutes to do cleanup, to do the operation itself. So those are one of those two programs that we have, and we are kicking off our kind of like planting tree planting program soon. So we've already started with a few corporates. So far, we've already pretty much planted 307 mangrove trees, and we are in planning for maybe another 200 to 300 with in June. So those are some of the programs that we are running and where we are able to do. But the Clean Sea Malaysia is the current running program where we want to get more people to be inspired to share your story. So any cleanups, why do you try to change? Let's say this is where you can share your story, your journey itself, and inspire others to be the change maker itself. So sustainable waste management is all, it's starting back with education and awareness itself. So and we what we're trying to create is the next leaders in terms of like to become this the steward, right? The a ownership of creating this change itself in Malaysia, and that we are able to make a difference, right? So a solution from Malaysia, by Malaysian for Malaysia itself.
Thank you, Mr. Faizal. Yep. I think if no more question from the floor, I think that's about it, right? Miss Arushavi, maybe we can take a group photo before we end the session. Oh, Miss Arushavi, you are unmute. Remember to unmute.
Yeah, sorry. So, thank you so much. Actually, I was waiting for the photo session as well. Can I get all the students to on your video for a while? This is very important. We have almost
180 students with us. Yeah. Yeah.
So, students, can you all please on the camera for a while? Come on, students, lecturers. Yeah, I can see our beloved lecturers here. All of you, please, just for a few seconds on the video, because we want to have a very nice crowded photo session here. There is 197 participants.
Yeah.
We
I
want to
think
look crowded.
Yeah, Mr. Faisal share is very insightful and also informative. I hope all of you actually gain something that from his sharing lah. Personally, he's a very experienced person who actually deals with waste management. So in future, I will send Miss Arichavi the contact and also the email. So in future, you still have any questions or you still have any program that you want to work with Mr. Faisal, you can actually contact him personally.
Yeah, definitely. We are very glad and obliged and privileged to have been able to organize this knowledge sharing session with Penang Green Council and also Mr. Faisal from Impact Nation. And thank you to Miss Kimberly as well for being so friendly and your hospitality in organizing this event. Actually, it was very easy for me to organize this event with both of you. So we are definitely looking forward for another valuable knowledge sharing session, and maybe because in PUO we are just about starting towards green campus, smart green campus, and definitely we will contact you all in the future for any other program or talk, even for the lecturers, the organization in PUO as well. Okay, we are
Sure.
looking forward. Okay,
All right.
everyone can say cheese or smile for the good photo session.
One. Anyone doing the counting? Maybe I can do. One.
Three,
Oh, yeah, Miss Arishavi, go ahead.
okay, 3, 2, 1. Okay, I think I got a few clicks as well. Should be
All right.
fine.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you so much for the valuable time and knowledge shared, Ms. Kimberly and Mr. Faisal, and to all the lecturers who have joined in the session, and also students. Students, just remember, I will send the link for today's attendance through your PA later on after this session. Okay, feel free to answer the attendance. Okay, thank you.
Thank you so
Bye for
much.
now. Thank you so
Yep.
much.
Thank you, Mr. Faisal.
Thank you.
Thank you, sister.
Thank you. Bye. Kaju je tinggal. Ada lagi ramai ni. Ramai-ramai. Okay.